So imagine if the Mali government went with the approach of, please don't do that. That's not very nice. Would they get anywhere?
No.
Exactly.
You do the same thing.
Exactly.
That's why I like Traore. That's why I like Tiani and Goita.
Yeah.
There's no talking here.
Yeah.
You do this to me, I do this to you.
Exactly.
Traore declining deportees from
It's good.
From Trump.
It's good.
Give me like the greatest achievements you've seen so far from Traore, Burkina Faso.
Oh, the greatest achievements.
You know, Ahmed, last time we spoke on Ibrahim Traoré, and you know, now in the AES,
Yeah.
you can see the Cold War that's going on. I would say Cold War. I would say the back and forth between AES and Trump. You saw Mali the other day. What did they do? You posted on your platform.
They did a reciprocal action to the US in regards to visas.
Visas, yeah.
So
is it 10,000?
A bond of 10,000. So I believe it means that you need to have a deposit held with the Mali authorities for 10,000 if you want to get a visa, and then you get the money back. Because I think the US did the same thing to Mali citizens. So it's back to what I said earlier.
Yeah.
Stop asking, demanding. So imagine if the Mali government went with the approach of, please don't do that. That's not very nice. Would they get anywhere?
No.
Exactly.
You do the same thing.
Exactly.
That's why I like Traore. That's why I like Tiani and Goita.
Yeah.
There's no talking here.
Yeah.
You do this to me, I do this to you.
Exactly.
What do you think about the Traore declining deportees from Trump?
It's good. Mahama, who has done some good things in Ghana since he came back to power, was very disappointed. He agreed to take some deportees to Ghana.
Yes.
So I just like my presidents that talk revolutionary to do revolutionary. I hate the inconsistencies. Yeah. And in the age of social media, so many of them are just talking for sound bites because I know it's going to get clipped on social media. Traore, Tiani, and Goita are doing, yeah? The thing what I love about Goita, you don't hear him speak much, but you see him doing shit, yeah? What would you rather have? Presidents that give all these fantastic, elaborate speeches, but do very little, or someone that doesn't speak too much, lets the foreign minister and the prime minister and does the work, yeah? What did they say? Real gangsters move in silence.
Yeah. Like real G's move in silence like lasagna. That's still wait.
I like that. Yeah. Real G's move in silence like lasagna. Yeah. And then we have Traore who talks and does. So, you know, we're very happy with him.
What do you think? Give me like the greatest achievements you've seen so far from Traore, Burkina Faso.
Oh, the greatest achievements. The roads, the fast industrialization of Burkina Faso. There was a limited amount of roads paved in the whole country from independence all the way to the revolution that happened in 2022. He's come up with this ambitious target to triple that amount by 2030. And he's doing it. And you're seeing these TikTok videos. You know, people cuss TikTok a lot, but I love TikTok. I've managed to maneuver my algorithm so it doesn't show me people shaking their asses and twerks.
Thank God, me too.
It shows revolutionary stuff. So if your TikTok's showing crap, maybe that's a reflection on you. Yeah. So I've seen these videos on TikTok of these border drivers in Burkina Faso going up and down on the road. Wow. Do you know what I'm saying? Really proud of what's happening. The factories, the tomato processing factory, the new electric car Uber service. It's not a government initiative, but he's made it a fertile ground for people to come back from the diaspora and share the skills that they've learned and set up businesses.
That's what I like, fighting brain drain.
Exactly.
I've always been saying that.
Exactly. But the most important thing is the terrorism problem, because there's so much you can do in terms of infrastructure, if your country is not safe, if your country is destabilized, he's enlisted so many volunteers to fight. Yeah,
I saw that.
The world's strongest man, I forget his name, he's a guy from Burkina Faso. He's done an advert telling people to come and join the fight. No one forces him to do that. He's patriotic. He believes in his government. He believes in Ibrahim Traoré. So the most important thing a leader can do beyond the actual infrastructure, which he's doing a lot. Our comrade, David Hoyonde, says that in West Africa, he runs West Africa Weekly. He says the two ports next to Burkina Faso, which are Togo and Ghana, anytime you see tractors coming, the local people know this is heading to Burkina Faso. Anytime you see these infrastructure equipment, they know this is heading to Burkina Faso. And any African in the continent knows the thing that we need the most isn't right now, I'm not saying these things are not important, isn't right now more NGOs, yeah? More forums on human rights, yeah? More US Africa summits, Japan Africa summits. We need infrastructure. Infrastructure is key, yeah?
It's the backbone of any economy.
Infrastructure is key. The UK is where it is because the Industrial Revolution, which was obviously off the back of the rest of the world, but the infrastructure that was built during that period, we still see today, yeah? We still see today. Infrastructure is everything. And you can only do infrastructure if you have peace and stability, yeah?
Yeah.
So the reason why Europe is able to develop so much is because, by and large, apart from Ukraine and the Balkans, they've had peace and stability, yeah? When you have peace and stability, you can start building fancy railways, you can start, but if you don't know if the country is going to be invaded any second, if a proportion of your country is held by the Islamic State, that's the priority, yeah? So the fact that he's doing infrastructure, despite the fact the country's been destabilized, is so admirable, yeah? Ghana hasn't had any real conflict, basically since independence, yeah? But we've not seen the infrastructure that we're seeing in, obviously there's infrastructure in Ghana, but we're not seeing the faster pace of infrastructure projects in Ghana that we're seeing in Burkina Faso.
I think everything slowed after Jerry Rawlings left.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned him because when I lived in Ghana, I didn't know that much about him, but I soon got to know.
Yeah.
Because a lot of Ghanaians hold him and Nkrumah as the joint best. I don't know if I'd agree with that assessment because Nkrumah to me is the father of all of this. But it's because of what you said, the infrastructure. Yeah. I'll ask you, in Kenya, who's regarded as the best president historically?
Currently is Kibaki.
Why?
Infrastructure.
Exactly.
Communications, what?
Exactly.
Free education.
Yes. That's what people care about.
Yeah.
Yeah. People don't care about some of the other things that the West tells us we should care about when it comes to... Yeah. We won't get into it because it's controversial.
Yeah,
but you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. And by the way, Jerry Rawlings, I like what you mentioned about Jerry Rawlings. To me, okay, Kwame Nkrumah is like the foundation. But to me, I think that Jerry Rawlings is the most important figure in Ghana. Because when there was a plethora of coups going on, he stopped the cycle. And he basically had to chart out new path for Ghana. And I think he left it at because let me tell you, if it wasn't for Jerry Rawlings, I think what's happening in Sudan could have happened in Ghana. Ghana could have been so unstable. Yeah, and that's what
But he had longer time than Nkrumah.
Yeah. Exactly.
If you think of what Nkrumah was trying to achieve, and what he did achieve in the short period of time that he was there.
Yeah.
There's a reason why he was made the joint president of Guinea with Ahmed Traoré, because he wasn't just doing it for Ghana, he was doing it for the whole of Africa.
Yeah.
He was raising the flag of Black South Africans way before it became the popular cause. He was doing infrastructure in a short period of time, but there was an economic sabotage. He was giving us books that we still read today and are some of the most significant works that any African can read. Yeah. It's interesting. His secretary said, what was it? Neocolonialism, the last stage of imperialism. That book caused such an uproar in the West. The US recalled their ambassador. They condemned him. They started to fund the people around him to do the coup, including Nana Akufo-Addo's father, who was part of that group that ended up overthrowing Nkrumah.
Yes.
So, you know, he didn't get to do what he wanted to do, but theoretically, he gave us something that we still read today, we understand today. Neocolonialism, he said, what we've got right now is flag independence.
Yeah.
Yeah. He said that back in 1960. It's just as true as it is today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If we could have just followed what Nkrumah said in 63.
If we'd have got a United States of Africa, if we got a United States of Africa, where would we be now? We'd be a powerhouse. Yeah. If you look at Beijing, pictures of Beijing in 45, 48, it looks like Africa. If you got a picture of parts of China and parts of Africa back then, they were not that far different in terms of development. Look at China today. Some people say that it's the world's largest superpower economically. Some people say it's second. Whatever it is, it's the top two.
I think it's the largest now.
Yeah, it's the top two. It's the top two. Depending on what metrics you're looking at, it's definitely the top two, probably the top one. Yeah. If we'd have had the United States of Africa, we would have been right up there with them, probably surpassed them. Yeah. So Nkrumah's contribution can't be understated.
So when it comes to Traore, the greatest achievement is kicking out the French troops.
Yeah.
You know, and by the way, the shot that I posted of you saying that the terrorists are being supported, but that one blew. It blew up, which is very true.
You looked it up, innit?
Yeah, I did. And in the UN General Assembly, I saw was it
the Prime Minister,
the Prime Minister
of Mali?
He said it.
Yeah.
He said it.
Yeah.
So it's happening.
Yeah.
It's happening.
No, I mean, it is. I would agree with you, but the reason why I disagree slightly is because a neo-colony like Chad also expelled French troops. So it's now become fashionable, but unless you fundamentally change the relationship with France, it's meaningless. So I'll just adjust your answer a little bit and say, not only kicking out French troops, but disentangling Burkina Faso as a French neo-colony.
Yes.
Because so many countries have kicked out French troops now. Senegal has said it's kicking out French troops. It's become the fashionable thing to do. But while you're still you're still being dictated to by France, it's meaningless. Yeah? It's meaningless. So it's the way that he's disentangled
completely
from France.
Completely.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is what should happen in Kenya.
Yeah.
I mean, because all these British soldiers, all they do is rape our women and burn our forests.
So let me ask you that. So you've obviously saw the recent news about they've named the British soldier and they've issued an extradition.
Yeah.
Do you think that the British state is going to extradite its soldier to Kenya?
No.
And when it doesn't extradite, what do you think the Kenyan government will do? I'll answer that. Absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Of course.
Yeah? So this is a theme. I guess we had a different theme in the last podcast. The theme for this podcast is stop asking, start demanding. Now, think of how much coffee is exported out of Kenya.
Yes.
Valentine's Day, most of the people in the UK that buy their fiance, their wife, flowers, the flowers come from Kenya.
Naivasha.
If they say, we're going to stop exporting these countries, we're going to kick out the British companies that control so much of this market until you extradite that British soldier, he would be here within a week. Yeah?
By the way, these flower farms are owned by foreigners.
Exactly. Finlay, which is like a Scottish company.
Tea, of course.
Yeah.
Although some of these tea farms, they were owned by white people. Now a Sri Lankan company came and now it owns majority of them.
Yeah.
But still, it's still an African who owns these tea farms.
And the British are still involved in the production line.
Yes.
100%. They do this a lot where when something's controversial, they remove themselves. So when you search on Companies House or whatever the equivalent is here, it's under new ownership. But if you check the management of the company and the way it's operated, as if nothing's changed. So to me, they've moved from overt control to covert control. Yeah? Because some Africans, because there's not a colonial history with Sri Lanka, we seem to be more comfortable with a Sri Lankan owning it, with an Indian owning it, yeah? Despite the fact it's still a non-African, still non-Kenyan. So I always, when I look at these things, I always look and think, is that genuine? Is that a genuine change of ownership? Or is that a change of guard? Yeah? So, you know, on a military parade, they change the guard, but the general, the queen, the king, the sovereign, is still the same.
Still the same.
Still the same.
A lot of people were saying African stream needs to come back.
Yes.
That was I read almost all the comments. That was that comment was like the most prevalent comment I came across in the comment section.
I'm trying, man. I really am trying. Because in my final video announcing African Stream was getting shut down, I said it's now time for us to pass the baton on to you guys, and you guys to pick up where we left off. I say this humbly. Unfortunately, that hasn't happened. It has happened in some elements. You're doing a fantastic job, and there's individuals. But the way African Stream industrialized, putting out news, because there's only so much a couple can do. Yeah, you're of course not going to be able to cover all 54 countries. So we need a group of radical Pan-African anti-imperialist journalists working on this full time. So whoever's watching, please come on. You know what we need? We need funds, and we need your support, at least for the first 2 years, so that we can relaunch under a new name and that we can become, within that 2 years, self-sustainable. But what happened with the American smear, attaching something to us with no proof, it was impossible for us to monetize. Just as we was on the cusp of monetizing. So it was very smart what they did, and we really would love to come back.
But you know what? Even though you guys left, I like what you say. You know, it requires money to institutionalize these things. It requires a lot of resources. So, but you guys, you know, all you African billionaires and millionaires who have money, why don't you just pour money on African Stream Part 2 or whatever Ahmed will call it? I don't know if you're going to call it African Stream again. But, you know, because, you know, we need Pan-African media platforms. You know, all these African media big companies are not going to report the things we are reporting on Sell Afrika to Africans and on Pan-African Lifestyle, or even back then on African Stream. Because, you know, I don't know if they're scared or if they're being, or they don't want to upset, you know, our allies, you know.
They don't want the same treatment that happened to us. I wouldn't wish that on anybody. Because, for example, like our biggest stations, NTV, Citizen, KTN, they wouldn't do the content that we do. Yes, of course.
Because I know the government is telling them, hey, don't piss off our allies, don't piss off US, don't piss off UK, don't piss off Europe. And so, guys, support Sell Afrika to Africans. Subscribe, like, comment, share.